Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Professionally Unprofessional. I'm joined again by my good friend Reese.
Hello, everyone.
And forgive him if he's a bit not exactly talkative today. He's quite ill recording this.
Yep, I got infected by the Pokemon fans at the weekend.
Yeah, we were at EUIC, but we did not get a chance to try out the Pokemon Pokepedia demo, unfortunately.
Because it was way too long,
That queue was so long, and I do not care enough about that game to want to queue up that long.
especially because it's coming out next month.
Yeah, like it's not like we're waiting ages for it. Oh, full disclaimer: games that we're not going to discuss on this one include Phantasmaphobia because it's only just come out.
Yep.
We're not going to discuss, but that's about it. We mostly are discussing about. Oh, yeah. Also, I haven't played Code Vein 2 because of my
And neither have
injury.
I.
But Elliot had played it and he sent us his description of it.
A very long description. Thank
Yeah,
you, Elliot.
yeah. He liked he does like the character creation. The FPS is the main issue,
Yep.
and apparently the highest he managed to get it during this time was 30 FPS, but it has dropped down below that, and apparently there is a patch coming to fix it. And he did think
And I also say to say that Elliot has a decent mid-range PC as well.
yeah, so I was going to say Elliot's not exactly, and I've also heard that the issues are persistent on consoles as well.
Yeah.
And
It's affecting everyone.
The combat has been slightly enhanced, but the skills, on the other hand, are found throughout the world, and there can be rewards for defeating bosses, and now linked to weapons instead of your character. Not sure how I feel about that change.
Yeah, it does seem a bit random to do that now.
Yeah, it's apparently more open world Code Vein in this one, but I always thought it's a bad idea now to try and do an open world Souls game because you're immediately going to be compared to Elden Ring. No matter how much it's not like it or anything like, or no matter how much you're trying to avoid it, by doing an open world Souls game, you are instantly going to be compared to Elden Ring.
Well, that's what the original Code Vein was compared to the original Dark Souls, and now second one's being compared to your Elden Ring again.
Yeah, but I mean, I really like the original Code Vein, but we'll obviously discuss that down the line. Also, I've had okay, so let's move on to our first subject, which I think is the biggest release we've had in this time period, which not saying much, because we're recording this a week before Resident Evil comes out.
Yep. Which is weird having a Resident Evil game and it not being spooky time of year.
No, they tend to release Resident Evil games around the end of the tax year because Capcom likes to end the tax year on one of their big franchises.
Yeah, but it is weird because you think they would release them be more thematic, wouldn't you?
I would agree. Yeah, I would have thought more thematically it would suit being in that October-November time period, or September-October time period. But now they go for always go for January to March. Mario Tennis is out.
Yeah, I've not played it, but I have seen gameplay and I've been hearing what you've said about it.
Yeah, I played a lot of it on the train going to and from London. I've now played at least a little bit of every single mode. I played some of the online multiplayer the other day. Pretty stable actually. It took me a while to go till I got a frame rate drop.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I will say as well, it's a beautiful looking game for the Switch too.
Yeah, it's definitely the best looking sports game.
Yeah, and also will say this is a bet. I do think this game in many ways is better than most of the sports games that were on the Switch One.
Oh yeah, because it's not hard to beat that level of competition, is it?
It's funny because it's funny because I do I play a lot with the gold tier Patreon Good Vibes Gaming team, and there's a lot of love for those sports games still, particularly Mario Tennis Aces. There's a lot of love for that one.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Mario Tennis Aces was the best of those three when you compare it with golf and football.
Yeah. Oh god, the football game was so bad. a bare bones.
That's funny. I do hear defenses for that game now.
I don't know how.
Because they basically say, oh, well, the gameplay loop is still good and the mechanics are quite good for it, but they wish there had been a 4v4 mode.
It was just worse than every other Strikers game we had previously, though, like the Wii version.
Oh, no, I'll tell you what. I played an hour with someone who had on GameCube Online on Strikers with someone who'd never played the original GameCube one, and we had way more fun in that hour playing that one than we did the Battle League football. But one thing I will say though as well, I still think the Wii game is the best one of those Strikers games.
Yeah, charged. It was just so good, different.
Yeah, so clever. The fact you could customize your team with what you want the different members of your team to be.
Yeah.
I think my biggest... Okay, I'll go with my biggest issues with Mario Tennis Fever. For a start, the adventure mode still's bad.
Which is par for the course these days.
Yeah, they kind of tried again. I appreciate the fact they tried again with the faux RPG thing that the Game Boy Color games tried. Because those games are really good. I will not deny that the Game Boy Color RPGs are really good. The problem is they don't give you much room to do anything with that. This isn't like Golf Story or Sports Story, where there's actually a reason to do the side stuff to up your mechanics. You're basically going from set point to set point. You're doing... It's a glorified tutorial. The plotline makes no sense, and it's basically just an excuse for, here's baby Waluigi, as my friend put it.
Well, it is true, because he was the only baby missing so far.
Yeah, so now we got baby Waluigi. So the single player experience has issues. I didn't really enjoy the towers all that much. They're interesting challenge modes, but they kind of feel like they drag a little bit.
Yeah.
The games are either too quick or too slow. But character selection is very good at launch. Just going to double check now. It's because I like Diddy Kong's in there, Chain Chomp's in there. You've got I think it's like 30. I think it's just under 30 characters at launch.
So a decent chunk though.
I'll just double check that to be safe. Okay, yeah, there's a total of... Yeah, Mario Tennis Fever... Oh, I was wrong. It's 38 playable characters at launch.
Oh, well, that's a very good chunk, then.
And 18 of which you get at the start of the game and 20 you unlock.
Yeah, but I think it sounds about right.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. And you get them pretty quickly. You can get them through the multiplayer. It's not very difficult to get a hold of them. It's probably, in my opinion, I actually think it is one of the better ways to unlock it. It's like play a certain number of tennis matches, you get this character, or play this mode for the first time, you get a certain character.
Yeah.
Or you get this certain racket. And the Fever rackets are pretty good. They do genuinely liven up the game in a way and change, and there is actual strategy into which ones you pick. And the one I don't like, the one that, because it's not like Mario Tennis Ultra Smash where the Mega Mushroom means nothing.
Yeah.
There's actually a good use for it. And I said at the time, when that trailer came out, I'm not sure why you do that and not just give the characters a unique ability, so it made each character worth picking. I think I'm now come around to the idea of it's a good pick, it's a good shot idea.
Yeah.
Because it means that there's not going to be like a tier list of characters now. It's going to be a tier list of rackets. And you can just pick whichever character you want, realistically. Which I think for a game that brings people together like Mario, you want that kind of thing.
Yes, that's what Mario's always been based on, being a universal brand for everyone.
Yeah, no, he is basically video game Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
I think there was a survey said that recently that more people now recognize Mario than Mickey Mouse. I mean, this is cool part of the 40th anniversary celebration, which I know we got the Yoshi game coming up, but realistically, that's going to end with that new movie in 2 months.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's a cool. I think it's a cool selection. I think. I did actually like some of the special modes they had as well. They did one I really liked, which is called the Wonder Seed mode, which is based specifically on Mario Wonder. And
Yeah.
partway through, it will shake things up with with one of those flowers that turns the map weird. And I got the first time I did it, I got the one with the piranhas dancing around the net, going da, 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 from the game.
Yeah. The Wonder Flower.
Yeah, the idea is it's whoever gets the most number of collects the most number of seeds by the end wins. So
Yeah.
There's also like a Waluigi pinball mode. There's all sorts of interesting ideas here. I honestly think as a multiplayer game, it is genuinely worth your time.
Yeah.
But that's all I can say. As a single player experience, it's a very mixed bag, I would say. And I think without a very good adventure mode, it's not enough there for you.
Yeah.
Like when they made if you think about the original Mario Tennis on those Mario Tennis games on Game Boy Color, they knew they had to put a decent single player mode in because just how many people at that time had link cables. Like,
oh yeah,
they really had not been picked up until Pokemon really became a big thing. But so there was a proper good use for those games, and you can get them now on your NSO account.
Yeah.
So that's Mario Tennis. So your first one, I really want to talk about Star Trek Voyager.
Yes. So it's been like 40 odd years since Star Trek Voyager. We're finally getting a game that covers that whole storyline. It's more of a choose your own adventure style visual novel with elements of Fallout Shelter. Have you played Fallout Shelter or XCOM?
I looked at a bit of the gameplay. It also reminded me a bit of that game Starship Citizen, I think it's called.
Yeah, I think just like a Star Citizen, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of.
So
no, not Star Citizen.
So the game follows upon a TV show where you're part of this starship. You get flung to the other side of the galaxy. Your ship gets completely wrecked, and you build it back however you want through modulation designs like XCOM or Fallout Shelter, where you build purpose-built rooms to give you different bonuses in different fields. So your Voyager can be completely different to my Voyager if you go all in on like science, and I go all in on tactical or weaponry.
So it does invite replays.
Yes, and it follows mostly the storyline, but the option now is to change the narrative and key story decisions to influence the story in which you want it to be taken. And these moments aren't that often, but they do come up a little bit. And this can result in crew members dying, even though they're not supposed to in the TV show.
So they didn't die in the show, they did die, but they do die in your game.
Yeah, so you can kill off Neelix if you keep sending him on away missions and failing the rolls, since it uses a bit like a D20 system, where each action in the missions carries a certain amount of risk. So it's like reward or failure. And if you fail enough, crew members can get shot and killed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's like quite roguelike as well. And along the way to like real Voyager, you had to scavenge for supplies. So it's like fuel, hull materials, stuff for the warp core, and food. And if you run out of stuff like that, like if your warp core goes critical, your game just ends and Voyager gets destroyed.
I like the idea of I kind of like the idea of that, really.
Yeah, so it's definitely the most intense Star Trek game we've had in a very long time.
So, I mean, obviously, gameplay-wise, you said it's a very visual novel with a bit of like that Fallout Fallout. What was it called again?
Shelter.
Fallout Shelter. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have always complete customization over the interior of Voyager, apart from the key systems like you can't change where the hangar bay is or the warp core or the deflector. Those have to remain in place. But other stuff around those and the conjoining decks and floors, those can be changed and swapped out.
See, the game it really reminded me of when I saw the trailers for it was that one Citizen Sleeper. That's the one I was trying to remember.
I didn't play that one. What's that about?
That's kind of a visual novel type thing where you're basically trying to. The best way to describe it's very hard to describe it, and I don't really want to because it's basically an RPG where you're trying to keep as many of these characters alive on this space station, and it's a very minimalist indie game. I don't want to say too much about it because it's best to go into that as blind as possible, but I would recommend if you like good text games, it's a very good text game.
Yeah, so Voyager's very similar to that. It's very Fire Emblem. Characters can die any time. So if you like the idea of your crewmates dying, save the game often.
Yeah, is there voice acting in this, or do you have?
Yes, there is some voice acting because it's not a massive budget. But they got back the voice actor for Tom Paris, who was the main navigator, and Tuvok, the Vulcan security officer.
I'm assuming the rest they got a bunch of sound-alikes.
Yeah, and just stuff is like they don't have a lot of voice dialogue for all the lines. Like Digimon Survive, a lot of that was just text over the background.
Okay, so I mean, I actually you're really selling me on this one, and that's coming from someone who doesn't like the Star Trek Voyager that much. I always thought Star Trek Voyager was not one of the better Star Trek series.
It does have its flaws, but this game allows you to take the story in the direction you want to.
There is something to do with that. Like I always thought that that anime Astra Lost in Space, that was Voyager done right.
Yeah, we both agreed on that, and that anime of the season.
Yeah,
we came back to it.
We proper love that series. But I would say with this one, how do you find it graphically on Switch 2? Would you say?
I've been playing the PS5 version.
Oh, you're playing the PS5 version.
Yeah, so that's where the demo originally came from. Because when I looked it up on Switch 2, it didn't have the demo at the time. But the PS5 did have the demo out, so I did the demo there. As whatever progress you make in the demo carries over to the full game.
Yeah, I should say I'm on the eShop now. The demo is still not there.
Right, yeah.
Time. So if you want to try it out, you're better off trying other platforms to try it out. I think my biggest problem with games like this is it gives you the illusion of choice or the illusion of every decision you make is going to impact things. When in reality, it's like they haven't done enough time to program it, so they haven't got enough space for that. So it's realistically going to stay on a kind of a similar path.
Yeah.
How would you say it compares with saying like the Telltale games in that sense? Because the Telltale games are probably in America and Europe the most successful visual novels to take off.
I think it holds up really well. Going back in, for example, the customization I mentioned before, your options on away missions, certain choices you make directly correlate to the status of Voyager or what you've made. So if you've got the transporter route back up and running, you then have the option to beam people in and out. But if you don't, you have to send out shuttlecraft, which is a lot more risky in person. So it's this whole narrative that then plays into your customization of Voyager. No two people's ship will ever be the same.
Risk versus reward. I see.
Yeah.
So,
and also what you want to prioritize.
So that's. I mean, you are selling me on this game. So you can recommend this to Star Trek fans, you'd say?
Yes, especially to Voyager fans. If you weren't the biggest fan of Voyager going in, I'd probably wait for a sale or play the demo at least first.
Which again it has to be pointed out, it's not available. The demo is still not available on Switch 2.
Yeah, I don't have an Xbox. I don't have Steam at the minute, so I'm not sure if they also have the demo there or not.
I really don't feel like turning on my Xbox to check.
Yeah. It's spoken like a true gamer for the last 5 years. I don't feel like turning on my Xbox.
I think the other one we really need to proper talk about, though, is the one that we've both been playing, which is the new, which will tie into one of the news stories we're going to do later, which is we got a shadow drop that we weren't expecting from Sony. New God of War prequel, Son of Sparta. I've not played as much of this as I'd like.
This is the one I've been playing the most since we came back from London. I've wrapped up about 25 hours. And dear God, this game is massive. It takes like 40 hours to platinum to get everything.
That's what I was surprised by. This thing that looks like it's it's not the best looking game. It really does.
No,
it's not escaping the accusations of it. Kind of looks like an updated JavaScript game. But
yeah, it's the same art style from the game I had my friend in high school. Everyone refers to.
But I'd say overall it plays very well. Like
it is good, but it's very slow to get going. You do not get power ups for ages.
Yeah, no, I've only done about 5 or 6 hours. It took me.
Yeah.
But I do like. But you know me, I'm a big Metroidvania guy, so
yeah, this
was up my alley on that front. Did they say who was making this one? Because I can't remember. I don't think it's Sony Santa Monica. Is Sony Santa Monica making it?
I think they're publishing the studio's Mega Cat Studios.
Oh yeah, it's Mega Cat.
I know that. That is our joke, Cal, at your expense.
Oh God.
Because it was a studio I've never heard of before.
Yeah, no, I hadn't heard much about them. So yeah, they are behind. I'm looking at like Mega Cat Studios. I'm looking at their output. They did do a game of one of the Five Nights at Freddy's games.
Yeah, they also did the Angry Video Game Nerd 8-bit game.
Oh yeah, that one. Other than that, they're.
It's sports games mostly they do. Backyard basketball and baseball.
Yeah, this is their most high-profile release to date.
Yeah.
I'd say actually,
definitely.
Considering that they don't have much prestige to them, and they likely were hired because they were probably cheap to commission.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The game turned out quite all right.
Yeah, because the studio, look at it, it's only 24 employees made this entire game.
Really good for 24 people. Yeah. What do we have any other criticisms of the game before we dive into stuff we like?
Major criticism is that it's so difficult to fast travel.
Yeah,
early on.
I agree, and I don't like the saving aspect.
Yeah, so you can only save at a camp in this game, not directly on the pause menu, which is bad because there's a day one glitch going around where the game deletes your last save file.
Yes, and you got an issue. I remember you messaged us saying, I've had an issue, I've been soft locked, and I had to do it, and I lost about 40 minutes of progress.
Yeah, I've had 2 soft locks now, both after boss battles, funnily enough.
My rule of it is, if you're going to have manual saves like this in a game, because of the modern climate and the fact we were so used to things like autosave, you've got to have a ton of save locations. And I mean a ton of them. Like, that's one of the reasons why I didn't criticize in Metroid Dread all that much, because Metroid Dread does have the manual save aspect to it, but there's just save rooms everywhere.
Yeah. Whereas this game, there's so few and far between campfires, and if you try to see what I did, was get maximum amount of collectibles as you go along, and then backtrack, that's just going to pad out your runtime massively. So the main fast travel you have at the beginning is the temple mechanic, and it's not until way later in the story, literally 24 hours of my 25-hour playthrough on, I unlocked a different version of fast travel to go between campfires.
Right.
But even then, campfires and temples are still spread so far apart on these maps.
Combat is good, but okay. So we've said stuff we don't really like. Combat's good.
Yeah. The major issue I have is just being limited to the spear.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this felt like a game that should have had multiple weapons.
Because that's what Kratos is always known for in God of War. He's literally a walking arsenal.
Like, we can't, like, okay, to be fair, we can't give him the Chains of Olympus.
No, the Blades of Chaos, no.
No, we can't give him the Blades of Chaos. We can't, so we're a little limited on creating this really, on how we do this.
Yeah.
But you could have given him other weapons. Like, the Spartans weren't just known for spears. They had other weapons.
Yeah, like, even as historically inaccurate as 300 was, Zack Snyder still gave them swords as well.
Yeah, which is historic. I mean, the historical inaccuracies in that film are beyond belief.
But you know, you do something wrong where Zack Snyder is more faithful to the law than your video game.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I'll tell you another one. A weird thing about that is I do know. Well, in Zack Snyder's defense, and that's not a sentence I say a lot, he isn't really trying to adapt history. He's trying to adapt Frank Miller's comic.
Yeah.
And the less said about Frank Miller these days, the better.
Ooh, definitely.
Yeah, because as well as you have to go, you are aware that the Persians were way more democratic than the Spartans were.
Literally.
Also, another one I like is that they didn't put it in is that when they made it to there's two things I love. The fact I love, which is that the Persians underestimated the Spartans because the Spartans were getting their hair done.
Yeah.
And they didn't realise that if you were getting your hair done, it meant you're fighting to the death.
So you always was a lot fabulous on your deathbed.
Yeah, basically you want to leave a beautiful corpse.
Yeah.
And another one is that when they turned up, they were accompanied by 700 thespians.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you drag 700 thespians to a battlefield? So that's another thing I find interesting though about. So obviously it's the Greek mythology has played a big factor in you, and you're a Greek mythology expert.
Yeah.
Well, I should say Greek mythology expert of everyone employed by us.
So I've always been a very casual fan since I was a kid. Always watched Greek-inspired fantasy shows and that. I read all the mythological aspects.
You watched a lot of Xena Warrior Princess.
Oh, yeah. And unfortunately, in hindsight, even the Hercules with Kevin Sorbo.
Oh. I'll tell you the other one, though. So on that basis, how do you think... Because they had other games to draw from for creating the mythological characters. How do you think they did, though, overall with this one?
Overall, they did quite well. They brought back some classic God of War monsters from the Greek trilogy, of course.
Yeah.
And also brought over some monsters from more famous Greek myths, like the giant Cephalian bird that Hercules is supposed to kill, the giant metal birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, those show up. We have other stuff like the Gorgons are back in force, which is always fun to see. And of course, there's a Minotaur in every zone, because of course there is.
It's one of the most famous Greek myths. Of course, the Minotaur is going to be there.
Even though there's only one in the actual myth,
and it's in an underground maze in the middle of Crete.
Yes.
Which, by the way, how did they get that? How did they get that hidden in Crete? I've been there. It's massive.
Yeah.
It's like, how do they hide? Even then, I think, how do they hide an underground maze in this place? But if you actually, but I do think we got to admit this is not the best looking game.
No, it looks very much. I don't know if it's very tropey to say. It looks like a PS1 game, but it does. Like there's very early Metroidvanias like Symphony of the Night, but more rough.
Like we're still getting the hang of the PS1, and we don't and I don't think I don't get a sense that this was designed deliberately as a throwback.
It might have been inspired. The original one was on PS2, and this prequel is on PS1 style graphics. So I can kind of see it from that aspect, but I think it just needed more time in the oven for the art style and graphic side.
If that was the case, I think why wouldn't they do one of those like PS1 style demakes if they wanted to do that route? You know, like that Bloodborne demake that really went viral.
Oh yeah,
Something like that would have been kind of interesting.
yeah,
Which they did end up releasing Bloodborne Kart eventually.
yeah. Under a different name since Activision put down the ban hammer on them.
No, it was Sony who put the ban. I think it was Sony or FromSoft who put the ban hammer down. Because Sony has Activision has
Oh yeah,
Activision has Sekiro.
that's it. Yeah,
Activision has Sekiro. Sony has
as
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne. Yeah, that's it.
That more on that later.
True.
So I think we said it's worth your time, but there's a few issues with it at launch. But at the same time, this is not meant to be a huge game for Sony this year, so they can kind of get away with it.
It is very much a spin-off, and it expands on some stories and questions we had previously, like more about Kratos' brother. There's the Sons of Sparta, meaning two of them, and Deimos is on the cover art.
Yeah,
and thankfully, this we do learn a lot more about him.
I mean, story-wise, that's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll stay for written reviews to find out what the score is.
Yeah.
Next thing I want to do is one I've been playing, and Elliot's been playing it as well. Mio, the new another Metroidvania that released, and it's a lot better looking than this game.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Like very good, like kind of spiritual successor to Ori.
Yeah.
Which is honestly one of my favorite Metroidvanias, and Elliot, I agree with Elliot. The main draw is the visuals. This is a very visually appealing game.
It also shows it's slapped off the Game Boy Color.
It's kind of no. I would say no. It looks way better than a Game Boy Color game.
Well, no, but that's all that art style and graphics inspired by.
Yeah. There's definitely a bit of it inspired by the old, old Metroidvanias and that old, very minimalist style. But I do. I mean, earlier I want to mention he found combat very simplistic.
Which is to be expected.
You only get like a few strikes. The exploration feels more like a puzzle at times, which I agree with him on that one. I think the save doesn't work as well. I think the saves don't work as well. I found it interesting. I actually saved it after I got... I think this might be a bug in the game. I saved it after I got a shortcut, and I found when I went back to the game, the shortcut was blocked.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, I swear I unlocked that door when I did my last playthrough.
Oh, that's very bizarre then.
That's a bit of a bizarre one. But yeah, no, there is a bit of a puzzle aspect to the game in terms of how you're going to explore it. But Metroidvanias always kind of have that aspect to it. It's like, I can't get this thing open. I obviously need a power-up that I haven't got yet. Let's go find that.
Yeah.
I do think the fact it's got that simplistic combat means you did need those visuals to make up for it.
Yeah.
So one of my, which again, Ori does have that a bit better than Mio does, but that's what you get for being backed by Microsoft.
Yeah.
I personally think this is a very well done Metroidvania, but I don't think it's the best Metroidvania you can get on any of the systems it's on.
Mm.
The only one I would say maybe you might have I was going to say maybe the PlayStation 5, because Ori isn't on there, but both of the Hollow Knight games are on there. Both.
Yeah.
And even on PlayStation 5, you got Symphony of the Nights on PlayStation 5 now.
Yeah.
With that collection, which you guys still won't let me play on stream.
Because we all have nightmares, Cal.
I beat a boss when we were on it.
After how long?
Let's not get down that route. You say you can feel especially unfair. I did say it can feel a bit especially unfair at times, feeling like it requires pin-perfect timing and movement to get through. As well as your energy bar only, and I'm quoting now, only refills on its own when you're on solid ground. Other times you need to hit something or dodge an attack. I wouldn't say I completely agree with him on this one. I thought it was far. I did think it was fair enough. It does. have a bit of a risk versus reward attitude to the combat, but I think I honestly did think it is a strong release. It's kind of. I do think though, when you go through it and you've gotten used to those visuals, you're kind of thinking, well, what more is there to really do with this? Because I feel like the Ori games changed up the environment a bit more, so it meant that those visuals would be appealing all over again.
Yeah.
So in the first game, for example, you go into different areas for the different elements. So obviously they do a water element place, a fire element place, all that business.
Yeah.
And in the second game, they really did shake things up depending on which way you wanted to go. And the final boss location is just extraordinary. But no, I just that was the thing. I thought that being said, I still think Mio is one of the best releases of the year so far. I mean, obviously not been much, but when it is when it is visually good, it is really visually good. And I think the combat is genuinely very strong.
Yeah.
When you get it right, when it's got right, it's very simplistic, but it does appeal to me personally.
How's the soundtrack?
Kind of a bit more atmospheric than anything else. They're not really trying to go for like tunes you're gonna remember.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's Yacht Club, isn't it?
No. This isn't Yacht Club.
Who's making this?
No. Yacht Club's doing Mina the Hollower.
Oh right, yeah.
This is so Mio Memories in Orbit.
Yeah.
This has been done by Dozer Dixames.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, I got confused with the name there.
Yeah, no, that's Mina the Hollower is the one you got mixed up with. That's the
Yeah.
that is the
So
one.
it's
That is the one that is Game Boy Color inspired.
yeah,
But-
yeah. So it's Mina and Mio. It's my Blue Adult brain messing them up.
Yeah, no, Mio's this is a spaceship one. But
Yeah.
I will say as well that they do make that spaceship feel. It feels like they do what a lot of good Metroidvanias do, which is they make you feel like there's a history here with a capital H,
Yeah.
and you want to explore it to figure out what's going on. So I would say very good release. If you like Metroidvanias, this is a really good one to pick up. In fact, I'd actually say you pick up this one before you pick up God of War.
Yeah, because I just refreshed my memory looking at a trailer of it. Yeah, it does look a lot better.
So next up to talk about, and I think how many have you got any other releases to talk about, Reese, that you've played?
The only other one was just the demo of War Sons of Stories 3, and if it's released next month.
Yeah, so we'll dive a little bit into that one because I got the demo as well.
Yeah, so it's carrying on the whole franchise now, set 200 years after the second entry, and now it's gone from like a sea-coasting, very Pacific Island tribe to now very European medieval castle style.
I personally really, I did enjoy the demo.
Yeah.
Retains quite a bit of what I liked about the first two Monster Hunter Stories games. From what I played so far. I really. The thing is, though, I'm going to be interested if I've not finished the demo yet.
Same. I've not. I mostly got distracted going around the open world. Since you get the entirety of the first zone in the demo.
That was bizarre for me. I was like, wow, they're giving us this much?
As more progress carries over as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, what a way to do it. I mean, honestly, though, the Monster Hunter Stories 2, genuinely, I thought was fantastic.
Yeah,
so this has got
definitely.
A very high bar to clear.
Yeah.
In my opinion. What do you think? So overall, are you more or less excited for the demo now that you've played for the full game? Now you've played the demo.
Definitely more excited looking at the new mechanics they've done with the whole ecology system. Because just like in Pokemon before, you could release Pokemon from your PC box into the wild in Pokemon. That didn't do anything. Whereas now they brought that mechanic over to Monster Hunter Stories 3, where you can release newly hatched eggs and they now repopulating the wild to increase the ecology score,
Yeah.
make it more environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
And the more you do that, the more subspecies of that monster then spawn in. So with Rathian, for example, if you hatch enough baby Rathians and release them into the wilds, eventually you get pink Rathian and eventually gold Rathian spawning in the world.
I did like the conservation aspect to the game.
Yeah. So it is very unique, and I really like that
So,
aspect of it as well.
we're going to say we really like that aspect to the game.
Yeah, because it adds a lot more, considering Monster Hunter as a franchise normally is you killing monsters, whereas Stories is about coexisting with the monsters. And now we're repopulating their environments. So it's nice to have a franchise that goes in two very different directions with its main entries.
I'm saving. I didn't actually check it. Can you do the amiibo functionality in the demo yet, or do you have to wait for the full release for that one?
I don't have any of the compatible amiibo, so I'm not sure.
I'll double check that when I get a chance. Yeah. I have pre-ordered the amiibo as well for the new game.
Yeah.
Which is, I always find it interesting how much Capcom really supports Nintendo with the Monster Hunter series, because they must sell a ton of Monster Hunter stuff on Nintendo.
Yeah, well, definitely, because don't forget, Monster Hunter is the biggest selling franchise for Capcom as a whole.
Yeah, that still staggers me. I would have thought by now Resident Evil would have overtaken it.
They got Resident Evil, you got Street Fighter, all eclipsed by Monster Hunter, because don't forget, Monster Hunter World on PS4, it's all like 20 million units.
That is a staggering amount.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at that, you think no wonder it's taken them this long to go back to Mega Man.
Literally, yeah.
So,
as much as we love these more niche franchises from Capcom, they just don't sell that much, unfortunately.
I will say we're going to have to... I think we should move on now, because you do look like you're heading towards death.
Thank you.
I'm going to move on to the... so we're going to move on. We'll move on to the news items. We'll start with the negative ones, and we'll move on to some positive stuff later.
Yeah.
So, first negative one, it just happened last night before we recorded this. Sony has shut down Bluepoint Games.
After only 5 years of being open.
And they didn't get anything off them in the time that they purchased them.
They bought them after Demon Souls, right?
Yeah, they did. Demon Souls was really successful, and they went in and bought Bluepoint Games. And I thought that was a very good acquisition, because Bluepoint had been very good to them. They'd made the Shadow of the Colossus game. They'd made the Demon Souls games, and they were both incredibly good. And I thought, if you can get these guys to remake some really good games again, you could have something really good to fill out your calendar. And apparently they were working on an original game and one based on a property. So I think they were working on... And we now know that original game, which I'm glad I never got to finish it, because I think they'd be so terrible at it, was a God of War live service game.
Oh, that would have been horrendous.
I don't get why Sony is... I feel like this is the last of these live service games that Sony's going to abandon before they ever come out, because they've abandoned the Horizon one, they've abandoned the Last of Us one.
Thankfully.
They've abandoned this God of War one. They don't need any more live service games. They've got one that's been successful. They got Helldivers 2. That's all they need.
Yeah, literally.
And I will admit, Sony going down the route... Initially, I thought, if they do a couple of these, maybe that would have been a good idea, because Sony is kind of lacking at the minute on multiplayer games. But they went overboard completely. It's like, this is a market that you're competing in with lots of competition, and people aren't really into it as is. Like, you got to deal with the people that want to play Fortnite. You've now got to deal with the people that still want to play Overwatch. You've got to deal... and this is just like if you're on PlayStation, for example. And now you've got Marvel Rivals in the mix. Why would you now pick... if you introduced all of these live services into the mix, no one's going to pick them up. Like, you own Destiny now. You're fine on that front. I mean, God help you when Marathon comes out next month.
Oh, looks so bad.
Yeah, that's not a good-looking game. I will freely admit, and I'm saying that, and I know someone who's rooting for its success because he has a financial stake in it. Um, but I will say straight, mate, I do not think this game looks that good.
No,
Oh,
it's not a marathon. It's more of an arena shooter.
yeah, it's kind of like I looked at that and thought nothing about this feels very much like those original marathon games.
Literally.
And it's a well, we'll obviously talk a little. That means we don't talk about when we talk about the state of play.
Yeah.
But marathon's definitely so that's an issue for Sony right now, in my opinion, is that their single player. Now Sony will have. We're gonna forget about this when Sony Santa Monica comes out with their next announcement later this year, probably.
Yeah.
If the Nate the Hate rumor is to be believed, they are apparently they're going to reveal their next game before the end of the year. But again, plans change.
Yeah.
It might. We know there were. So it's like Sony hasn't dropped studios to the same extent that Microsoft has. Like they haven't dropped.
No.
Like they haven't dropped. Like I think in the time that since the PlayStation 5 launched, they've only dropped like the ones that made Concord.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Highguard seems to have just completely disappeared with no
Well,
word.
that's another news story. They've fired 80% of their staff.
What the? What
Literally,
the hell?
yeah.
They spent tons of money to do a massive advertisement at the end of the Game Awards, which was really not warranted. And I told you at the time, I said at the time, swap around those trailers. End on Mega Man. That's a much better ending trailer.
But apparently, that was Jeff Keighley's idea, solely his.
What? You idiot! No one's going to care about this game. It's also coming into a market that is way too riddled with competition. And they said, oh, it's made by the Apex devs. It's like, yeah, and that makes me want to play Apex. It doesn't want me to play this one.
Yeah, Apex and Titanfall 2, they specifically mentioned.
Oh yeah, but again, I'm not thinking, oh, I want to play Highguard. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I should probably boot up Titanfall 2. It probably would be it's a really good game. I wouldn't mind playing that again.
Yeah.
It's not making me think I want to play Highguard. And it's like, oh, well, you got only a bit to get used to this game. Did they ever bring back the website? Because that shut down briefly.
Oh, I've not checked, actually. Well, I know the player amounts tanked completely overnight on Steam.
Which, again, is where a market would really be done for this, because people buy any shit on Steam.
Right, the website is back up currently.
So it probably was a server breakdown or something like that, and everyone just overreacted.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
possibly.
Game, yeah, but that game's just gone nowhere in the time. We didn't even cover it because none of us wanted to play it.
Because it looks so bad.
I'm not going to spend my time and money on it.
No, definitely not.
Shall we move? I do genuinely feel sad for Bluepoint Games because I think the Demon Souls remake is so good. They did a great job with Shadow of the Colossus. I would have loved to have seen them do more stuff. I could have maybe I don't think a Bloodborne remake was ever in the cards for it.
No, so Sony seems to be allergic to doing anything with that now.
I think they just think Bloodborne's fine as is. It's sold well. I actually wonder. Genuinely, I wonder. I'm going to go a bit impersonate Scott the Was a bit here. How many people who say they want a Bloodborne remake or would actually go out and buy a Bloodborne remake? Like when actual yeah, I mean, but when actual push comes to shove, how many people are just jumping on the bandwagon and not? Because let me just double check. How many copies did Bloodborne actually sell?
I think it's on a decent small number.
Okay, let's go with that. Okay, Bloodborne sales, it sold 9 point... Okay, it sold very good. 9.3 million copies. That's a good score.
Yeah.
At that point. Now, but let's say... let's compare that with Elden Ring, for example. No. I'm going to say let's compare that with God of War Ragnarok sales.
So I looked up, is the 15th best-selling PS4 game Bloodborne?
Yeah, but that's 15th.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of games that outsold Bloodborne, which means Sony's going to see not as much of a priority on that. Like,
Yeah.
we could...
So for example, say about God of War. God of War PS4 sold 21 million.
Exactly. So you're looking at those, you think you want to put more investment in God of War than you do in Bloodborne.
Yeah. Even the first Horizon game sold 19 million. That's an extra 10 million copies sold.
So you look at that and you think, no wonder Sony doesn't want to do anything with Bloodborne. It's like, all that time, money, and effort, and it's not going to sell as well. Well, like, admittedly, people say, oh, well, it's got a cult following now, so more people would buy it. But that means that you've got a bunch of people who really... But think about that. That would mean there's a whole bunch... Unless, let's say they didn't release a PC version for it, for example, for this hypothetical remake. That's a whole bunch of people that owned a PlayStation, had all the time in the world to buy Bloodborne, but chose not to, but suddenly really love it, and now all those people are going to buy this remake rather than the original.
Yeah.
It does seem farcical to me, the idea that a remake would outsell the original on this one without it going to PC as well.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever been the case, has it?
Well, obviously Sony are putting some of their games on PC, but they haven't really, going back to Bluepoint, Demon's Souls remake was not one of them.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those, honestly, I feel like if Team Asobi had not won Game of the Year at the Game Awards, they would be on the chopping block right now, because Astro Bot probably did not sell as well as they probably would have liked.
Which is crazy to think about.
So let me go just double check actually on that one. How much did Astrobot sell? Astrobot's sales figures right now is 2.3 million copies as of early January 2025. So it probably sold a little bit more on that one. But again, I feel like if it wasn't for the fact that it achieved major critical success, and even then I don't think it's going to be safe. So I wonder, is Team Asobi going to take too long on their next game? And so PlayStation's going to say, yeah, you won us Game of the Year, but we don't really care. We're not getting as much out of you.
Yeah, so these companies care more about money than actual prestige.
Yeah, and I feel like prestige leads to money at the end of the day. And I know this I run my own business. I know this for a fact. In fact, a lot of the things that don't make you money in the short term can make you money in the long term. So a prime example is Axia runs a post-diagnostic support group. We make no money off that whatsoever. In fact, we kind of lose money off that, but we do it because it's a good thing to do. Because it's a good thing to do for the people that need it. It fulfills something in the market that isn't there, and it means when we go to have negotiations, people will say, "Well, we have this."
Yeah. It's like you even spend money to bring in guest speakers as well.
Yes, exactly, and it's and a lot of the people that go to it might never get a chance to hear those guest speakers to do it, and it's always positive stuff to make people feel better. I don't mind that I lose money on that, because I think it's just something. It's something that's good for people, and it's good for basically, it's good for us as a whole.
Yeah.
But that's the point. It's this idea of that gives us something to talk to when we go for negotiations with people. That gives us an extra tip in our cap. And I think Sony could do. It might not be realizing right. Microsoft really doesn't realize this right now, but Sony's going down the same path, which is if you have something to work with, you can. If you have some extra tip in your cap, you can do something very interesting with that, and it will make you money in the long term. So
definitely.
Another one to talk about though is this. I mean, we've had a few passings in recent memory, unfortunately.
Yeah, like the creator of Sonic.
It wasn't the creator of Sonic. He's the creator of the Sega consoles.
Right.
He designed all the consoles for Sega, and his designs were just so well done.
Yeah.
Like you look at say that you like about the Dreamcast, it's a beautifully designed console.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And it always had amazing marketing as well.
Yeah,
they always put the effort into it.
Sega really tried with the Dreamcast. They really tried.
Yeah,
But it just was a bit too little too late. The Saturn had sunk them so much that they couldn't come back.
yeah, real shame.
Yeah. Um, other, other things to discuss. We have a lot. Oh yeah, so it's rather unfortunate with those talks, but we do have something positive to talk about now. Just in, Pokemon Days already celebrations are already getting underway.
Yeah,
Fire Red, the day we record, day we recorded this, Fire Red and Leaf Green went on pre-order.
which makes me think if somebody messed up and put it up a week early, and it was supposed to be a shadow drop.
I'm going to disagree on that one because I don't think they put the trailer up as well and keep it up there. If Nintendo wanted to get rid of that, if Nintendo or the Pokemon Company wanted that gone, it would be gone by now. And I would be receiving an email right now saying my pre-order had been cancelled. But no, I think the original plan was for it to be a shadow drop, but because of the leaks, they had to get ahead of the game. I mean, for whatever reason, I have a guess on what the reason is why the leak they were happy to put this up and not pretend it was a shadow drop that no one had seen in the presentation next week, which has been announced for the 27th. We'll discuss our thoughts on it in the next one. Are you keen to play Fire Red and Leaf Green again?
Well, I've still got my box, my loose cartridge of Fire Red, so I could always pick up Leaf Green and see how that played for a change.
Yeah, that's funny because I sent up my Pokemon WhatsApp group. Most people said they weren't willing to pick it up because they still had their original cartridges. So people are saving that cartridge.
Yeah.
Do you have any predictions?
Although, to be fair, I was always a pretty frugal kid. If I got any games, I played them to death and just kept them.
Do you have any predictions for the Pokemon Presents at this point?
Well, the big one, of course, is Champions getting shadow drops. Since the VGC needs that time to acclimatise.
Do you think Champions is going to shadow drop, or they're just going to give a release date for it on the thing?
I think they could shadow drop it.
I think it would make sense as a shadow drop, but I could also see them saying when we said it was going to be the World Championships, we mean it's for the World Championships. That's going to be the first event that it plays it, and we're going to do Scarlet and Violet until after North American Internationals. I mean,
I just don't think there's been enough time for players to get used to it.
I agree. I don't think that's a smart idea. But the other reason is the reason the Pokemon Company could delay Champions past next week is Champions isn't going to sell any trading cards. It's not going to sell any merchandise. It's not tied. It's not a mainline game or even a Legends game. Or even Pokepedia. They were probably going to get a few extra trading cards from Pokepedia, like with the new Mosslax or something like that.
Yeah.
So, on that basis, I would make the argument you could delay. I don't think they will. I think you're right. I think it will be a shadow drop. But I do think there's a possibility they could delay it a little bit, or even it comes out in March and we don't have a lot of time to get prepped for it. But especially soon, we know now there will be one game released after the presentation, which is Fire Red and Leaf Green. Do they really want to say, oh yeah, we're also giving you Champions as well after the presentation?
I think they still could.
They could, yeah, because again, Champions is going to be a very niche market.
Yeah. Whereas Fire Red Leaf Green appeals to the entire fan base because it's 30 years of Kanto, and Fire Red Leaf Green are arguably the best way to replay Kanto. And that nostalgia, Gen 1 look back.
And personally, I think the reason they've chosen not put this on NSO is, and I'm going a bit tinfoil hat here, is because I think they're planning Pokemon Home integration support into it.
Well, it does make sense if they start doing the old NSO games.
Yeah, because it's going to be quite difficult to do it with your save files on that one with NSO. So why
Yeah,
not say, yeah, no, you're not going to get that, but we will. But let's just re-release these. We'll actually make more money. And
yeah,
I think the Pokemon Company sees a lot more value in those games than to put them on NSO.
yeah,
So you wanted Gen 1 on Switch. This is Gen 1 on Switch. You're just not getting it with your subscription service. And I'm
yeah.
surprised a lot of people haven't been angrily reacting about this because I would have thought they say, why are you charging us for something you could put on NSO when these systems exist? I'm like, because you're willing to pay for it. They know you're
Yep.
willing to pay for it. This is going to get more sales. Sales. Thank you very much. That's why.
Yeah,
Uh,
literally.
I mean, I hope they do more than just Gen 1, but as I say, we're going to have to just wait and see.
Yeah, it's really about remakes. I think Heart Gold, Soul Silver just print money on the eShop.
I would say even the one I'm not sure they would do it because I feel like it doesn't fit a market, but I think they're going to have to from some Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Yeah.
Because most of those Pokemon, in fact, all those Pokemon, I believe, are in Legends EA now. I don't think there's any missing.
Yeah, so it will be very spring over then.
Oh, no. There are some Hoenn exclusive Pokemon that aren't in the game, like Plusle and Minun, and who's playing with them. And there's a few others, but all the Megas are in Legends EA. So here's the big one, though. Do we think Gen 10 is coming at this Presents next week? Like a teaser trailer for it or something like that?
I think we could get a teaser from it. Not see any Pokemon, just a teaser of the setting. Like Scarlet and Violet had that teaser in the museum of the oranges and apples for the school.
I agree. The teaser trailer shows a little bit of setting and the free starters. That's all they're going to do again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you do the first trailer for a Pokemon game, you have to show the starters.
Yeah.
And then the three of us will argue over who gets which starter.
Of course.
The only one I want is the most competitively viable, but we won't know that. So that's obviously we'll comment our full thoughts on the Pokemon Presents next month, and kind of give a thoughts on 30 years of Pokemon, I say, to a certain extent.
Crazy to think about.
It is crazy to think about, yeah. So the final thing to talk about is the state of play, which I thought this was a decent state of play, but it kind of dragged in the middle.
It was just not that lot of exciting announcements. It was a lot of remakes and remasters.
So there were some very exciting announcements. I like the look of the new Kenner game that's being done by Ember Labs. That looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they updated a bit from the first one.
Since you couldn't finish it for your review, could you?
No, I did. I did finish it in the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I ran into a couple of soft locks, but I did manage to get out of it. Marvel Token Souls got a release date.
That looks really good.
I'll just double check when's the release date for this. Yeah, Marvel Token Fighting Souls. That's coming out on August 6th. PlayStation 5. Like being done by the Guilty Gear people and Dragon Ball Fighter Z people, so you know it's in good hands. And they revealed a few new characters from the X-Men stable of characters. I mean, Wolverine and Storm, that was a given how popular they were in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
But we've also got Magic, who is good for the people who like Marvel Rivals. And one character who I wasn't that aware of, but Reese was.
Yeah.
Which is Damage, isn't it?
Danger,
that's it.
Yeah, so this was a 20-year-old character from the comics. But I mean, 20 years ago she debuted in the comics.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas the programming of the Danger Room escapes and becomes sentient and wants revenge on the X-Men.
Wow, that is a weird one.
Yeah.
Other than that, there were a few other big announcements. Obviously, we got the teaser that the God of War Greek trilogy is getting remade.
Yep, with T.C. Carlson back into re-record some voice lines, which is always great to see.
That would be really cool. There were a few... Pragmata looked pretty good. They showed off a bit more Resident Evil 7.
9,
sorry. Yeah, Resident Evil 9 got shown off a bit more. The big one though for me was Konami here.
Yeah,
So Konami had a whole bunch of announcements. They've got a new Castlevania that's been done by Evil Empire, which was the announcement of the whole thing for me.
definitely. It looks so good.
It's it just looks great, and they did imply there's more coming for this game. In terms of like, there's more games coming for the 40th anniversary of Castlevania. It's not just going to be this.
Well, it makes sense as the Netflix saga for Castlevania has ended now.
And I did find it interesting that they chose to do a story centered around Trevor Belmont for this one, considering that was a success of the anime.
Yeah.
They announced Metal Gear Solid Collection 2. That's going to contain a whole bunch of other games, including the Game Boy Color game, Peace Walker, and Metal Gear Solid 4 finally escapes the PlayStation 3.
Yeah. So the Game Boy game is Ghost Babel, like the Tower of Babel.
Yeah, I've heard good. I've never played the Game Boy Color game, but I've heard good things about it.
So it's good. It also ties into MGS4 because this is supposedly the VR missions Raiden does to get trained as Snake.
That is bizarre. That one.
It's a weird tie-in.
Yeah, because I always heard that it was non-canon. That one.
It was when they kind of brought it back when they referred to Raiden as Jack and all the training he did.
But it's great. Metal Gear Solid 4 is going to finally be broken free. That game being stuck on PS3 was such a crime, considering it's a perfect ending to Metal Gear Solid.
And then we got even more endinging with Rising Revengeance.
That's an epilogue more than anything else.
Yeah.
The point is, they didn't overwrite Raiden's. They didn't overwrite Raiden's ending from 4 with that game, so I was happy with that. I was like, yes, keep that ending. Do not get rid of that ending. That ending's perfect.
Yeah, just let the guy finally be happy.
Yeah, and that being said, they also announced there'd be an update for the console versions, with Switch 2 getting the update as well.
Yeah, since the original Volume 1 struggled to run along on Switch 1 for some reason.
Yeah, it did. So I wondered with this. These are PS1 and PS2 games. How are we struggling to get these to run on Switch?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick, but I will say I will immediately pick up Collection 2.
Yeah.
When it comes out. That's a fantastic release for me. That Silent Hill game that got teased a while ago.
Finally... Scotland.
Yeah, and it's going to release in this year.
Yeah.
That surprised me as well, because I thought, this is probably a 2027 release when I saw the trailer for it, but good to easy to check. And then said 2026. Wow, this is coming out this year.
Right. Yeah, it surprised me as well.
Like, that it means we've had 3 Silent Hill games very close to each other. And that surprised me. We've gone from this franchise being practically dead to more alive than ever.
Surprisingly so, yes.
Yeah, I know. Wow. But it looks so good, that game.
Yeah. It's how they really optimize the engine now.
Oh, they absolutely have, yeah. The only other one to really talk about from that is that Konami's working on a new RPGs game called Rev Noir.
Yeah.
And it looks alright, actually. It really reminds me of the Tales of games when I saw it.
Very similar.
So I'm interested to see where they're going with this one. This one didn't have any sort of release time, because they said Castlevania's coming this year, and so's the other 2 are coming this year. They didn't have one for Rev Noir, so which says to me Rev Noir needs a little bit more work, but we wanted to announce it at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, cool. I'm glad that Konami's doing a new franchise.
It's about time, since they've been milking the same ones for a very long time now.
Yeah, but I was amazed. We're now, like, all of their franchises are now back in some form or another. Yeah. Metal Gear's back. We've got new Castlevania. We've got new Silent Hill. It's just fantastic to see.
It even extends to Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, where we've got the newest set is a throwback to Duelist Kingdom and Yamayugi's Chaos deck.
Yeah.
Get retrains.
All I can say is if you plan to release that Silent Hill towards the end of the year, I would expect not great sales for it, considering everyone's going to be nervous about releasing games towards the end of the year, given GTA 6 is on the horizon.
Yeah, that's the big one.
That's going to be we're going to have to spend a lot of time on that when it comes up on the podcast, because there is going to be obviously people are going to want to know about this game, because let's face it, this is going to be the biggest release of this generation, whether we like it or not.
That is true. Since GTA 5, don't forget, initially was a PS3 game at launch.
It's staggering to think how long that game's gone on. Mina the Hollower did show up in this. It's got they've said a spring release date. I think that's going to get pushed again, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I would have thought, okay, you've already delayed it from Halloween. I would have thought when you came back with it, you'd have a more concrete release date. It's like, no, we're just going spring. I'm like, because you've been a little more specific, because that does not give me confidence it's actually going to come out between April and June.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it does, because that game looks fantastic, and I played the demo, and it's great. But there's other than that, it was a decent state of play, I'd say. Would you say B+? Would you give it?
I think I'll probably go C+.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there was some good stuff there, but a lot of it did feel like filler.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just the last bit of that thing was so good that you forget that there was a whole bunch of filler in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, that's this month's Professional and Unprofessional.
Woo!
We're back next month with talk. Obviously, the big conversation is going to be Resident Evil 7.
9.
Resident Evil 9. Why am I getting this wrong? It's because they've done that stupid... Do you know what it is? It's because they've done that stupid thing of saying this takes place between 6 and 7. So it keeps going in my head. So yeah, big conversation. Resident Evil 9 is out. We're going to talk about... obviously, that's going to be a big conversation. The Pokemon Presents will be a big conversation. So we might have a chance to talk about Pokemon Champions, hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll obviously be able to talk a bit about Fire Red and Leaf Green coming back. Other than that, and obviously there will be a few more releases that we'll discuss in the meantime.
Yeah, because there's always stuff coming out. Right? We got Pokopia coming out next month. Monster Hunter Stories 3.
Monster Hunter Stories
next
3.
month.
Yeah, Monster Hunter Stories 3. We'll probably be able to expand on our thoughts on Monster Hunter Stories 3 by the time we get to doing next month's podcast.
Yeah.
But overall. Also remember Anime Amigos next Friday.
Yep, it's a duo one.
Yeah, we're doing a Netflix movie and our anime mastermind, and of course, stay tuned for more. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back next month. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.